Merry Christmas, everybody. My name is Chad Peterson, and I serve as the lead pastor at Bethlehem Lutheran Church in St. Cloud, Minnesota. And I want to welcome you to this online devotional. This Christmas, no matter where you find yourself, whether this is a great time of year for you, or if you are seriously struggling right now, we want you to know that this message is for you, that God meets us just as we are, for who we are, in our joys, in our sorrows, everywhere in between. When we bring the best of ourselves and even the worst of ourselves, it is God's grace, compassion, mercy, and love that simply says, I love you. You are accepted just as you are for who you are. Thank you for joining us today for this reflection. I hope it is good for your soul as you reflect on what the Christmas story means for your life. So, how is Christmas for you this year? Is it really good or not so much? Is it a standard Christmas or has something changed for you? Life rarely goes the way that you expect it to. Now, I know that you understand this, but understanding is so very different from actually experiencing it. So let's do this. I want you to think about how many hours a year you spend organizing for your family, planning for your work, and mapping out where you want your life to go. Now, if you were to think about this and put a number to that, what would it be? Well, you may not have an exact number, but the answer is a lot. Whether you are intentional or not, you are always preparing and organizing and mapping out your life all the time. How do I know this? Because even the most basic of tasks, like going to the grocery store, requires a series of steps that need to be thought through. What do I need to get? What time can I go? How will I get there? What roads will I take? So whether it is a simple task like going to the store or more complicated like planning the next 5 years of your life, all is well and good until you come across something or when someone gets in the way. The road is closed. The flight is canceled. The car won't start. Management pulls your project, your company downsizes, someone gets sick, someone dies. If I'm going to be honest with all of you, this is the first Christmas without my dad in the picture. And I have to say it's weird. Things are different for us. So it may be on some level that you too are having to change some aspect about your holiday. Because for as much planning as you do, there is always something that will change your plans and put you on a different path. In Luke's Gospel, Joseph and Mary are not planning to go to Bethlehem until Rome orders a census. At that moment, everything in their life changes. All the plans that they might have made to prepare for the birth of their child were for nothing. Mary was pregnant. The journey was dangerous, all on its own, but especially dangerous if you were close to giving birth. To say the least, the road to Bethlehem is definitely not where they expected or even wanted to find themselves. But as we all know, sometimes we don't get to choose the roads that we take. Sometimes the roads that we're on, they just are. They're chosen for us. Sometimes all of the best plans we make get overturned. This is the road to Bethlehem. Fortunately for Mary and Joseph, the donkey does not break down. They are not robbed, raped, or killed on the journey. I mean, seriously, roads in the ancient world were incredibly dangerous places. And just as they are making the best of a bad situation, it gets so much worse. There is no such thing as the Holiday Inn. Travelers must rely on the hospitality of family and strangers, so either there is no room for them or no one will help them. And just to add one more thing, Mary is going into labor. Can you even come close to relating to this? Has bad ever become worse for you? Just when you think that you could not fall any lower, did you come to find out that there is a level below the basement? A place that is even worse than bad? Oh, if you weathered 2024 wonderfully, without much inconvenience or difficulty, or really any changes in your life, well, then I'm happy for you. And hopefully you see yourself as lucky. For everyone else, though, you know that bad situations can get worse. And sometimes there's nothing that you can do to change the hand that you're dealt. When we get past the idyllic notion that we have of the Christmas story, the birth story of Jesus as it's told in Luke's gospel, it doesn't exactly sound very good, does it? But perhaps it's more relatable than we realized before. Maybe the story of Mary and Joseph is not all that different from our own stories. But this is not the end of Mary and Joseph's story, nor is it the end of our stories, if we can relate to this. In the middle of nowhere, something remarkable takes place. Luke speaks of angels appearing to shepherds who are out doing what shepherds do. The angels announce the arrival of a baby who will give hope and set people on a different path rooted in love and mercy. This experience is so impactful on the shepherds that they leave their flocks, setting up the scene that is at the height of this story. In the middle of a backwoods town, the lowliest, most socially insignificant, most uneducated group of people come to find two peasants and their child to reveal what has been told to them. The gospel writers, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, they give the son of Mary and Joseph a variety of names. I'm not sure if you knew that. I mean, obviously he's called Jesus, which literally means the Lord saves, or God is our salvation. But he's also called Emmanuel, which means God is with us. And in John's gospel, he's also given the name Incarnate Word, which is the idea of God embodying human form. And so you have Jesus, Emmanuel, incarnation. The Lord saves, God is with us, the Word made flesh. These names communicate the message that if you want to see God, if you want to know God, if you want to know the very essence of God, look to Jesus. And where do we find Jesus? We find Jesus, Emmanuel, incarnation. The Lord saves, God is with us, the Word made flesh, at the end of a road that Mary and Joseph did not plan to take or want to be on, in a backwoods town where things went from bad to worse, in the company of shepherds, otherwise known as the poor and the least in this world. In this story, through Jesus' names, we hear how God is near and connected to everyone, not just some. The Christmas story makes the point that God is present in all aspects of life, your family's life, in those places where you least expect to find God. I don't know how this year has been for all of you. I don't know all of the roads that you've been navigating and how many of those roads you did not choose to be on. But no matter where you find yourself, hear this. This Christmas, when you find yourself at the end of your road, in your Bethlehem, where things went from bad to worse, where you're in the company of the lowly, may you discover the unexpected presence of God with us. This Christmas, may you know that in the baby with many names, God walks with you in your joys and your hardships. May you experience the divine presence of God that shows up in the ordinary places of life to give us the hope, love, mercy, and peace that we need when we need it the most. This is the good news that we hear. This is the Christmas story. Thanks be to God for that.